On July 15th, we are doing a giveaway to celebrate 50,000 subscribers here on the channel. In collaboration with Zaptec and then partnering up with Polestar as Polestar's recommended home charger, we are giving away 2 Zaptec GO home chargers. To enter, simply subscribe to this channel and comment down below, "I want a Zaptec GO home charger." Thanks Zaptec for sponsoring this video. In this video, we are doing one of the hardest tests we do here on the channel called the long trip test, and we're testing the new Kia EV9 all-wheel drive exclusive. So this is a test over a route that is 610 kilometers or almost 400 miles, and the point of the test is to complete this route with the shortest charging time possible. So not only is range important, not only is efficiency important, but also charging speed in the real world. So without further ado, let's jump into the test and find out how this new EV9 all-wheel drive exclusive performs in the real world. After yet another week of warm and nice weather here in eastern Norway with temperatures upwards towards 30 degrees Celsius, the weather has now turned completely around, and today it is cold, it's rainy. Yeah, it's not a nice day to be outside, but a nice day to sit in a comfortable and quiet car like the Kia EV9. So currently it is 11 degrees Celsius outside. We've had temperatures of around 14, but it has dropped now a little bit, and we have had on and off showers and rain and wet weather, and that is reflected in the consumption, because after an hour on the road, a little more than 100 kilometers covered, our average consumption is at 28.7 or 28.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is really high. So that is because of the lower temperatures, that is because of the bad weather, but also according to the wind map, on our way down from Oslo, down south to this point, and now moving southwest towards Kristiansand along the coast, the wind map says we have headwinds of about 5 to 7, 8 meters per second. So quite hard headwinds, which hopefully will be tailwinds once we get to our turnaround point and get back. But this was not the conditions I was hoping for, because yeah, I was hoping we could have a run with lower consumption so we would be able to get further without having to stop and charge. But as things look now, we're going to be able to go to Kristiansand, which is our turnaround point, but we're not going to be able to go more than maybe 100 kilometers back towards Oslo. I was hoping we would be able to go all the way back to Brokelandsheia, but I think that is going to be a long shot, but we'll see now. Now we are approaching where the 4-lane motorway ends, and we're going to have patches of 2-lane and 4-lane roads on our way down to Kristiansand, so the consumption is going to be lower, and hopefully the weather is going to be a little bit better so we can have a little bit more of an efficient drive. Welcome to Kristiansand, guys. This is where we're gonna turn around. So we're doing a little bit of loop here, downtown, passing this street here, and then at the end of the street we're gonna take a right, and then we're gonna enter the E18 motorway and then head back towards where we started. So I'm gonna show you guys the actual consumption and some numbers here now, because it has dropped quite considerably. So 25.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers is our average consumption now. And as you guys can see, 15 degrees Celsius outside, and also, yeah, dry conditions, really nice. I'm gonna do this so you guys can see, so it's not too bright outside. So the conditions have improved quite a bit. 15 degrees Celsius, we've seen 16, 17 degrees Celsius now on our way down the past half hour. So we're gonna enter now on the main road again, merge here, and then we're gonna take a right and head back towards Oslo. So we're currently at 22% stated charge, and our consumption is lower, but I was hoping it would be a lot lower, because actually this consumption is actually higher than in my range test I did the other day with a higher average speed, but that is because of the wind we've had, that headwind. So hopefully we're going to have a lower consumption. I think I'm going to reset one of the trip computers now, and then we're going to see, we're going to stop and charge. I think we may be going to a new charger in Lillesand, a new Uno X charger, or maybe we're going to try to go a little bit further. We have a few options now, but I want to test out one of those new Uno X chargers, because I think since the battery is warm enough now to get that peak charging speed, because I did precondition before before we got here, I think we're going to have enough heat in the battery to get that peak charging speed at a higher stated charge than normally. Where I really want to go is 82 kilometers away, but we only have 57 kilometers of range left. That's why we are going to exit here at these new Uno X chargers right over here by this Uno X 7-Eleven station. And yeah, I think if the weather was better from the get-go, if it wasn't that windy outside, I'm pretty sure we would have been able to make it to where we wanted, to the Ionity chargers in Brokelandsheia. Because if you look at the consumption from Kristiansand and back here, it's only about 30 kilometers, but we are down to 20.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. But that doesn't matter. We're here now at these brand new 300 kilowatt chargers, and we're just going to back into one of these. So before we hop out, you can see we covered 332.8 kilometers with an average consumption of 24.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is better than what it would look like in the beginning, but still it could have been a lot lower with nicer weather. And we're here with 15% stated charge. It is pretty windy outside, as the forecast or the wind map showed. So we're now connected to this Uno X charger here, a 300 kilowatt charger. And this actually has a contactless payment terminal, which is the first time I'm trying that out in Norway. I think the EU mandates these for new chargers from 2024. So all EU countries and also other countries in Europe who aren't in the EU, like Norway. So we're now connected. We connected at 16% stated charge or 15% stated charge. And let's see what charging speed we're now gonna get after, preconditioning the battery. Actually preconditioned the battery, and it should be up to temperature. I think it's about 20 degrees Celsius for this battery to be at its optimal charging speed. So hopefully we're gonna get close to that 210 kilowatts of peak charging speed, and it does keep on climbing and climbing and climbing now. Okay, so it seems like we're peaking at right below 194 kilowatts, or we are climbing, but it's just climbing very, very slow. So I think we're gonna go to 70% state of charge here. From my calculations, that should give us enough juice to get back to where we started earlier today. Granted that the wind stays in this direction, which it does feel like, and also the weather doesn't get any worse. The forecast says it's gonna be about 15 to 16, 17 degrees Celsius from here and all the way back to Oslo with dry roads. So that is promising for this, long trip test. So let's hop back here. Let's see what speed we're getting now. 196 kilowatts. So we may be seeing higher peak charging speeds, a little bit higher in the in the battery percentage, maybe above 30%, but as things are now, this is actually pretty decent, and it looks like we're going to have a good charging session. Welcome back to Esso in Släpanden, where we started this long trip test earlier today. A little less than 7 hours ago, we started this trip here, and the weather was completely different. It was pouring down, it was 12 degrees Celsius. Now it's sunny, dry, and 18 degrees Celsius. And we arrived here with a massive 10% state of charge. So if you're new to the channel, usually I push these EVs very hard and low into the battery pack. You know, usually I arrive here with 0% state of charge, maybe like 1 or 2 or 3%. When I'm here with 5%, that is a big buffer. And 10%, yeah, that is almost unheard of, except for the past 2-3 times I've been doing these tests. So I don't know why I've arrived here with so much more battery, you know, a buffer of 10% when I'm trying to push these EVs as hard as possible. Maybe it's because, you know, the guessometers, the predicted range in the dashboard here is more accurate than it has been before with these electric cars. Or maybe it is because the weather was really bad on our way down, so we had a really high consumption because of the rain, the cold, and that headwind. And on our way back, we had a tailwind, and the temperatures were between like 17 and 16 degrees Celsius with dry conditions. I think it's the latter. So average consumption also crept down to a very reasonable 23.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers for the whole trip in total. But the last 3 hours, halfway from our turnaround point, it was actually 21.5. So very low indeed. And I think that is an indication of us having, you know, quite a good tailwind on our way back. So you guys are here at the end of the video because you want to know how many minutes the Kia EV9 all-wheel drive exclusive had to spend charging to cover this 610 kilometer, almost 400 mile route. Well, the EV9 all-wheel drive exclusive charged for a total of 19 minutes, and that is actually pretty good. I think if the conditions were better, if we had the same conditions both ways, I think we could have gone down to like 17 minutes. And also considering we arrived here with 10% state of charge, we could probably shave off even 2 more minutes off that charging time if I really wanted to push this electric car. So either way, if it was 15 minutes or 17 or 19 minutes, I think that is impressive either way. We were able to go quite a fair bit before we had to stop and charge today. And if you look at the results in my range test, yeah, this car is actually efficient for being this type of vehicle. Remember guys, this is more than 5 meters long, 2.6 tons of 3-row, 7-seat boxy SUV. This is one of the biggest electric cars on the market, and getting this consumption, yeah, that is good for this type of vehicle. And it is on smallish wheels, and I think it looks fine. It's fine on 19-inch wheels. You don't need 22-inch wheels on every electric car. So guys, let me know what you think down below about the results of the EV9 all-wheel drive exclusive. Are you satisfied? Are you disappointed? Let me know down below. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.